How's it going, everybody? It is I, Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle here versus Trey here in the OU tier. If you do enjoy these, make sure to leave a like on it, and the team I'm using is in the description if you want to try it out. Made by Mob Barley. It is a pretty nice team of Mega Lopunny. You already know whenever I use a Mega Lopunny team, I always forget to run the right tappiness on it. And that's going to come into play. I don't know if this is the game that comes into play, but another game I'm going to show to you in this video. It comes into play. So we both lead off with Landorus T, the pinnacle of OU right there. Honestly though, I find myself barely using Landorus T ever whenever I build a team. I always think I'd rather use something different than Landorus T. Me personally, I'd rather not use Landorus T. There's just so many things that can take care of it. But yeah, we switched out. I brought in Tangrowth, he brought in Gengar. I'm gonna switch out Gengar, switch out my Tangrowth into my AV Magearna. And he just substitutes up with his Gengar, throws off a Ghost TMZ, which Magearna does not care about at all. As you can clearly see, max special defense, Assault Vest Magearna, Volt Switch is on there. It breaks the substitute and just, it's there to live another day. So Magearna AV is one of my favorite Pokemon to use. It just takes all those special attacks, switches out. It's one of the best switches to Tapu Lele and Mega Alakazam as well too. So yeah, I brought in Hoop Unbound. Hoop Unbound takes the Gengar's attack, like a champ, and Hoop Unbound is Banded Adamant as well. And he has barely any switching for it. He does, though, have a Clefable, so I gotta be careful with that. I gotta get my gunk shots on the right place. So he brings in Landorus. Obviously, Landorus is probably going to U-turn, most likely. I would assume it's going to be Choice Scarf Landorus, just like my Choice Scarf Landorus. We both just led off with it, and maybe he does not want to catch a Hidden Power Ice, or, he expects me to maybe get up rocks as well. That's why he brought in Gengar, and maybe that's why he wanted to go CMZ my Lando. But who knows, I could have been Focus Sash Lando. Either way, in comes Charizard. I'm going to bring in my Landorus T, because if this is X, I can intimidate it. He goes for the Dragon Dance right here. I don't want to go for Explosion just yet. I don't have Stone Edge as well. I have Explosion. It's a little bit sometimes better just to explode. It can KO a lot better mons, like if it's a Gyarados and you don't know if it's a Mega or not. Even if it is Mega Gyarados, you don't want to have Stone Edge. You'd rather just explode on it. It's also nice to just do a lot of damage to anything really opposing Landorus T's. So I went for the U-turn right there because maybe I could keep my Landorus as a sack later on, although I could have probably predicted him to Mega Evolve right there and Earthquake. Either way, I think it's fine because I can bring in my Mega Lopunny and Fake Out, and if this Charizard does not have Roost, I could Fake it out again. But I'm actually going to stay in over here because I don't want him to Dragon Dance up again. And also, if he does Flare Blitz, he should get knocked out with the recoil unless he's Fire Punch. But even if he was, he could have knocked me out. As you saw, Dragon Claw does not knock out Mega Lopunny from full. And since it's because he's not +1 attack, since I intimidated him with my Landorus T. Anyways, in comes the Clefable, and I'm just going to switch into my Heatran. One of the best switches to Clefable, unless they got Thunder Wave, which could be a problem, but most of them don't. And this is going to be a Fire Z Heatran with Stealth Rock, Taunt, Earth Power, and Magma Storm. He brings in his Rotom Wash. This is a really good switch into Heatran, unless Heatran does have Toxic, which me personally, I like to run on Heatran. Especially defensive Heatran, I like to run Toxic because he can nab everything that like to switch into Heatran and just Toxic him down. Anyways, I sack Landorus to the rocks, don't really need it anymore, and I need something to switch in on this Rotom. So I bring in Tangrowth, Rocky Helmet Tangrowth, one of my favorite Pokemon to use as well. It's just so dang bulky. It can switch in on Kartanas, it can switch in on Landorus T's and Luster Fly Z, Tapu Bulo's Luster Megahorn, all the stuff. It can switch in on so many physical attackers. So Clefable comes out, Flamethrowers me, which caught me off guard. I did not expect that at all. I thought he would have something else, most Clefs have Stealth Rock, maybe Calm Mind with a Moonblast, Soft Boil, potentially Thunder Wave, like I said. I thought you'd expect my Heatran to come out right there, so that's why I stayed in. I did not expect a Flamethrower though, but at least I hit the Sleep Powder on the Clefable, so that thing gets knocked out. Either way, I bring Hoop Unbound. He brought in the Tangrowth. I do have the Gunk Shot, and I'm going to go for it. It is a one-shot on the Tangrowth, hopefully. Maybe if it's running max defense, it can live. But most of them are Soul Vest, and I think he's a Soul Vest. Unfortunately, though, I missed the Gunk Shot on the Rotom. That would have two-shot it, I do believe. And, yeah, I'm going to have to switch in my Tangrowth. Luckily, he misses his Wisp right there. So my Tangrowth is not going to get burnt, and he is scared of getting Giga Drain, so he does not want to go for a double Wisp right there. So that's pretty good for me. And I'm just going to go for the Giga Drain just in case he does want to go for the Wisp. I can really nab that Rotom because that Rotom should be dead. I think, at least. So Tangrowth comes in. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Soul Vest. I'm just going to go into my Magirna, as Magirna is going to take any hit. I don't think he'll Earthquake my Tangrowth. He just goes for the knockoff, gets rid of my Soul Vest, which is fine. I don't really need it anymore because I'm just going to stay in and Ice Beam this Tangrowth as he does go for the Earthquake. And that is going to easily two-shot my Magirna. Luckily not one-shot, though, since it's not stab and Tangrowth don't run any attack EVs. Unless he is, but it doesn't knock me out, so as you can see. Anyways, I bring in, oh, he brings in the Rotom, and I just go for the Floor Cannon and nab that Rotom on the switch-in, which is beautiful. I guess they expect me to go for another Ice Beam right there. Lo and behold, the Floor Cannon comes out. He should have probably just sacked Tangrowth, because his Rotom was very, very scary versus my team. So, in comes the Landorus T, and I don't really need Magirna anymore, so I'm just going to let it get sacked over here. I could go into Tangrowth, but Tangrowth is really, really low. So I need to get that Regenerator back on Tangrowth if I have a shot of winning, because I need the Tangrowth for the Lando. So, going to bring in Tangrowth over here, and he's locked in Earthquake, I'm assuming, and I can just go for whatever I want to, really. Yeah, I can predict him to switch out. I can go for Hidden Power Ice, and if he wants to stay in, maybe he can, but I'm going to pull a switch into Hoop because Hoopa puts on that offensive pressure. I'm trying to make that double switches over here, trying to get the momentum, and just going to start breaking through his team a lot better. So, I'm going to try and catch the land over here with the Ice Punch. Unfortunately, he brought in Clef. I thought you'd be scared of Gunk Shot because it can, you know, destroy Tangrowth, and I guess Clef is his sack right there since it is asleep. So I don't want to risk him waking up and Moonblasting me, so I'm going to make the safe call going into Heatran. And also, Heatran does have the Z-move, like I said, and it is easily going to claim a life over here, and there's nothing you can do about that. I could go for the Magma Storm, but I could miss, and that would suck if he went to Lander C and I missed, and then I gotta, you know, pivot around again. So, at this point of the game, I'm pretty sure I got it in the bag because all he has is Tangrowth, and Tangrowth is probably the only thing I would be scared of because Clef, I can easily wall it with my Heatran. Landorus, I can easily wall with Tangrowth, so his Tangrowth is the main problem for me because it has the move pool that can kind of whittle me down. So he brought in Lando, I could easily bring in my Tangrowth, like I said, and just utterly wall the crap out of this. He does go for the U-turn, it could critical hit me, which could suck, but even with the crit, I think I might be able to live on a Sliver, and he does take that Rocky Helmet chip as well, which is very nice. So, in comes his Tangrowth again. I'm going to keep mine because I need it for his Lando, and I'm just going to sack Lopunny. I don't really need Lopunny anymore. Pretty much, it's just going to get outsped by Scarf Lando, and it doesn't really break through Tangrowth as well, since it can't take a hit. And I can also bring in my Hoopa Unbound over here and hopefully claim a life. I think he still does have... No, he doesn't have the Rotom. That thing is gone. I knocked that thing out a while ago. But I just go for the Gunk Shot. If he does go into Landorus, it's going to take Stealth Rocks and a Gunk Shot, and I could always just bring in my Tangrowth again. And if he wants to U-turn, he's going to take Rock Helmet. So that's really nice for me. Another thing is, people are really just trying to go for the U-turns on the Hoop Unbound. You just bring in your Tangrowth, and then they take that Rocky Helmet chip, and you're just like, ah, beautiful. Because that Rocky Helmet chip matters so much, just in general. It's always so satisfying to get that Rocky Helmet chip on Pokemon, putting things in range for Mega Lopunny, Scarf Landorus, and whittling them down for Hoopa Unbound to just bust through, because nobody switches in a Hoopa Unbound. Like, Hoopa Unbound is the best breaker in the game, honestly. So, down goes the Landorus, can't break through Tangrowth, and I knock it out with the Hidden Power Ice, and that is going to be game versus Trey. GG to him. Next up we got is versus Dylan over here. Dylan has a very cool team. I like it a lot. Mega Heracross, I'm guessing, with a Typhlosion. I'm guessing Specs with a Sticky Web, Araquanid, Wrap Spin, Excadrill, so maybe it's going to be like lead Excadrill with Stealth Rocks, potentially, and maybe a Calm Mind Clef. I don't know. His team is pretty slow for Sticky Web, so I wasn't too sure what the Araquanid could be, honestly, because he has Tangrowth Clef, which is really nice, but we'll see. I was thinking that he is kind of weak to Coco plus Lucha, so maybe the Clef is unaware. I don't know. Either way, I think it's going to be max defense like every other Clef. I don't think it's going to be offensive. So I lead off with Lopunny. I'm just going to go for the Fake Out. Versus team, I felt Mega Lopunny could be pretty nice versus him since I could just Fake Out whatever. If you let off a Araquanid, Fake Out that. If you let off Excadrill, I could Fake Out that. But he leads off a Clef, and I see it's a leftovers. So not too much information. Like, I'd say it's defensive. So I'm just going to bring in Heatran. And pretty safe switching unless he's Hidden Power Ground, but I could take that. Even though I'm 4 times weak to it, you know, it's just a Clefable. Heatran has a massive bulk. He just throws off the Moonblast. Luckily, no Stealth Rocks throw off on the Clefable, so that's pretty good for me. And he just goes into Araquanid, and I get my Rock Sub. That's going to be crucial for whittling down his team, breaking Folk Stashes, Typhlosion getting whittled, and Araquanid being put in range for my team. So I'm going to switch into my Tangrowth. He could have Leech Life, but I doubt he'd go for it on a Heatran, and Tangrowth might even live a Choice Banded Leech Life if he is Choice Banded, but he goes for the Sticky Web, so I'm guessing he's not going to be Choice Banded. But I mean, I've ran a Choice Banded Rakon with a Sticky Web, so I'm not too sure. Either way, I go for the Sleep Powder, and luckily I'm faster naturally as well. And I'm just going to go for some Giga Drains because, believe it or not, I don't really have a 2-go switch into a Rakon. So this is probably my best way of dealing with it. So I'm just going to start Giga Draining. He does actually have the Leech Life, and he wakes up as well. But that's totally fine because I take that like a champ, as you can see, and he takes Cyber Hockey Helmet Chip, and I'm just going to go for another Sleep Powder, and lo and behold, I do hit. So that's pretty nice for me. I'm hitting these Sleep Powders. 75% accuracy. I feel like I always miss them in Showdown, but in Wi-Fi I'm hitting them against him. So I'm going to go for the Giga Drains again. I'm whittling him down slowly, and I'm gaining HP as well. It doesn't matter too much for Tangrowth because I do have Regenerator, but maybe if I want to stay in versus a Pokemon he brings out after I knock out their Araquanid, then it could matter, I guess. But yeah. Just gonna hope that Araquanid doesn't wake up as I just Giga Drain it continuously, and it does not wake up, and it's gonna get knocked out by the Giga Drain. So that is pretty lucky for me, not waking up, and him getting Sleep Powdered and me not missing. But that allows him to bring in Typhlosion, and Typhlosion could be pretty problematic because it does have a move pool that could actually do some work versus my team with Focus Blast and Eruption. So I'm going to bring in the mid-ground play, which is Hoop Unbound. It does have decent special defense. Maybe if he throws off an Eruption or something like that, I could live, but I mean, Sticky Web's Erupt, so it doesn't matter. Typhlosion's actually faster, but he has Work Up, and I was like, oh, that worries me. He goes for the Z move, which also worries me. I don't know what to expect from this. Maybe he has a trick up his sleeve. He just throws off the Inferno Overdrive, and yeah, at +1, that is gonna cook my Hoop Unbound. I wasn't too sure what kind of Typhlosion and what move he's running. Either way, it doesn't matter to me because since Lander C is Choice Scarf, it is flying in the air. It does not get hit by Sticky Webs. I'm able to just easily outspeed the Typhlosion and Earthquake him. Even though he does have pretty nice switch-ins to my Landorus T, a lot of resist, he stays in, and I knock him out. So I guess he was hoping that I wouldn't be Choice Scarf, and he will just blow me back with like a +1 Eruption or something like that, if he does have that. So, in comes the Tangrowth, which is one of the best switch-ins to Lando, unless you're Fly Z. Or, yeah, that would be like the only real threat. Fly and Fly Z. Or maybe, I guess, Choice Spec Sludge Wave. But nobody onto that. Maybe one person in the world, though. Anyways, I go to Magearna as he just goes for the knockoff, gets for my AV, and then Earthquakes me. With Sticky Webs up, he's faster, unfortunately. So I'm just going to throw off some Ice Beams, trying to weaken his Tangrowth, put in range for one of my other Pokemon in the back. And yeah, Tangrowth is kind of a problem. Tangrowth, you see it a lot in the higher ladder, I would say, because it's just so dang good. It's so bulky. It can switch in on Cocos, and if you're running Rocky Helmet, it can switch in on so many physical attackers. Like, I can't get enough Tangrowth. I can always slap a Tangrowth on a team that I build. It's just really fun to use. And with Regenerator, it just gains that HP back. So, I lose Magearna, but it's fine. It's for the greater cause because I go into Lando, and actually he lets me get rid of his Tangrowth with the U-turn right there. So that is beautiful for me because he could have actually kept that and regenerated back his HP and been actually a problem for me because, you know, I don't have a surefire way of actually one-shotting this, especially with Sticky Webs up. It could be a problem because, I mean, Heatran could Fire Z it, but, I mean, he could switch out predicting that, and I couldn't miss Magma Storm, and then he Earthquakes me, so, yeah. Anyways, I brought in Megalopony. He brings in his Heracross. I'm just going to go for the Fake Out, and, yeah. I think I just stay in over... No, I switch out. Okay. Well, I guess I wanted to keep Megalopony for a Fake Out later on, and I go into Tangrowth. I guess Tangrowth is a sack versus him, and Tangrowth can, you know, take some Rocky Helmet shit for him as well. And if he does want to Swords Dance, yeah, Megalopony is important because I can continuously Fake Out with the Stick Webs up, and weakening the Mega Heracross, putting in range for one of my attacks because I need this thing whittled down because I don't have a surefire way of knocking it out. With Choice Scarf Landers, the only thing I can really do is explode on it. So, yeah. Luckily, I do hit a Sleep Powder as he does Swords Dance, and I'm able to whittle him down with some Hidden Powers. Unfortunately, I'm not Hidden Power Fire, I'm Hidden Power Ice, and Hidden Power Ice is objectively better because he can hit more Pokemon that kind of threaten Tangrowth and can Tangrowth switch in on as well. And has a broader range of hitting Pokemon with Giga Drain as well. So he does wake up right there, hits me with the pinned missiles, which is pretty nice for him. And yeah, I can bring in Landorus C, and since he is literally on 1 HP, I can just go for the Earthquake and knock him out right there, so that's pretty good for me. And his ground resists are gone now, because he lost his Tangrowth, he lost his Heracross. It's pretty much like Landorus C is going to be able to late games clean. But Clefable is bulking up to take Earthquake, so I'm going to switch in Heatran, and plus Heatran is a pretty nice switch in, like I said, and I'm able to just go for the Fire EMZ, and maybe if this is Calm Minded, that could be a problem as well. So he throws off the Moonblast, that does absolutely nothing, which is awesome, and yeah, just going to go for the Fire EMZ, and if he does Soft Boil predicting me to go for a Z move, then good play on him, but I'd highly doubt that. And yeah, I mean, there's not much he can really do at this point. His Clefable is not going to be able to take this, and his other Pokemon does not be able to switch in on Heatran. It does live on a Sliver, though, and he does get a Brox. I don't know why he didn't get a Brox on my Lopunny. I felt like that was the freest rocks. Maybe next time he will predicting me to go into Heatran, or someone going to Heatran, because, you know, you got to make these predictions, and got to see through what your opponent's going to do, because, you know, obviously Mega Lopunny is not going to stay on a Clefable. Like, what is it going to do? Power Punch? I guess. Predicting you to go for Stealth Rocks. I guess you could do that, but that's just like higher level predictions. So his last mon, his Excadrill hits Life Orb. Maybe if it was Choice Scarf and he went for like continuous Iron Heads, he could have flinched me down. But since Life Orb, Belander C outspeeds it naturally with a Scarf, and I'm able to just Earthquake it. But he just goes for the Iron Head, and I'm able to Earth Power him, not knock him out, but it put him in range for one Light Forfeit, and then he's able to knock out Heatran. So there you go, GG to Dylan right there. I think he definitely had the tools to be annoying with this team, especially Mega Heracross. That could have been really, really annoying, but maybe if he just switched around a little bit more, and if he Stealth Rocked up with the Clefable, that could have been a different game for sure. Because he had a really interesting team with the Typhlosion workup. That could, with Focus Blast, it could put in a lot of work against my team. I have no switching though. It just blew back my Hoop on bound too. So yeah, maybe he switched out. If he switched out Typhlosion into Tangrowth on my Lando, that could have been really bad. So last game we got is versus LaFlare. Looking at his team, you already know it's a Sun team. You got Torkoal, you got Ninetales, two Suns setters, and then Venusaur, the Chlorophyll mon. And I was thinking maybe it would be like potential, like obviously he has Mega Houndoom, but maybe Venusaur could be like the Z mover, because he does have Sawsbuck, but Sawsbuck isn't that powerful without Z move. It could be Life Orb. I think it's definitely going to be Swords Dance, because Sawsbuck with Swords Dance can definitely hit like a truck. It does have good coverage as well. And I guess Tapu Fini is there to get that Mistrain, no status, and maybe even Defog as well. And I guess it's a Greninja switching as well. So all around nice team on LaFlare's parts. I like it a lot. Sun teams are always fun. Sun fun. So he leads off Tapu Fini. That's pretty smart. I was kind of hoping that he would lead off with like Ninetales or Torkoal to get the Sun right up, but it's smart to lead off with Fini because it gets the Mistrain up, and it allows him to not get status pretty much from my team, because maybe I have some random status, and I do have Sleep Powder on the Tangrowth, and I can't just go for that on his team. I mean, he does have Venusaur to come in on it pretty nicely. I mean, what is Tangrowth going to do? Earthquake, I guess, but I mean, I don't know if he would want to hard bring in that. So I actually make a really nice read over here going for the Earthquake, because I was like, alright, I have Tangrowth in on top of Fini. What is he going to bring in? Probably the Ninetales, probably Torkoal, but he actually brought in Houndoom, and unfortunately, this dang Houndoom lived on like 1 HP. I was like, come on, man, 1 HP? This game, I remember, it was like a little hacksy, so you'll see where the Mega Lopunny's frustration comes into play as well. So I bring my Lopunny over here. I was pretty sure that I could live any one hit from Mega Houndoom, and I wanted to put some more offensive pressure on the Houndoom as well, because I didn't want to bring in like my other Pokemon, because I felt like I needed the HP on the other Pokemon. I felt like Lopunny, I could spare some HP and like keep it later on for fake outs. So he actually nice plotted up and then decides to switch out, I guess, as a sack. That's pretty smart. You don't want to just lose your Houndoom, and you have a pretty nice defensive Pokemon called Torkoal right there. So I go for frustration. As you can see, I barely did, like, that did 0 pretty much. And then I miss a high jump kick right there. So yeah. First off, I don't have minimum happiness on Mega Lopunny, so that's why that frustration did nothing. And then I just get hacks right there with the high jump kick. 90% accuracy is a dang lie. Luckily, though, I do have Copycat, which actually does come in handy. I remember Mob Barley, he talked about that, I think, when he posted this team. He said that Copycat can come in handy with like random moves, and they actually come in handy with the Torkoal right there. I stayed in trying to just weaken the Torkoal, putting in range for anything. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but at least he got Rocks up, so that could be good for his Fire types when weakening down his team, and also getting rid of this Houndoom. He could have Wrap Spin on the Torkoal though, but I was thinking maybe Tapu Fini might be a defogger, because Torkoal, I know Torkoal does have that like 4-move syndrome and wants to run a lot of things, especially in the OU tier. So Hoop Unbound doesn't knock out anything, and he brings in Sawbuck. I don't want to get bobbed by those things, and he actually makes a very nice play over here, predicting me to switch out, going for the Swords Dance. I could have easily stayed in and went for Hyperspace Fury and blown back this Sawsbuck, but very nice read. I brought in Landers just in case, like maybe he goes for a Horn Leech or a return. I could take that, and I should be able to take another hit because I intimidate him. But he's going to throw off the Breakneck, a Blitz, and blow back my Landers T. Unfortunately, Landers T is an offensive variant choice scarf. Maybe if I was bulky, I could live a +1 normal MZ. But Sosbeck is really powerful, so I'm not too sure. I probably should have switched out, though, looking back at it, like into Magirna or Tangrowth. But I wasn't too sure what kind of Sosbeck this was. And then he reveals he is Bounce. So that's really scary for me. I'm going to switch out Tangrowth because I can actually maybe play around the Sosbeck. And I'm going to go into Heatran, as Heatran can take the Bounce pretty nicely at +1 attack. And I can probably bring in Tangrowth on the Sosbeck again, and I could take a Jump Kick at +1. So he unfortunately gets a Paralyze right there. Man, I cannot catch a break with these hacks, but it's okay, because I still have a shot like of breaking through his team. So gonna bring in Tangrowth, like I said. He goes for the Jump Kick, takes some nice Rocky Helmet. Hopefully that's in range for Hidden Power Ice, but he actually switches out right there, so that sucks for me. And also, I did want to catch him trying to go for the Bounce over here, so I do switch out my Tangrowth into Heatran, because I predict him to want to go for a Bounce, trying to knock out my Tangrowth. But unfortunately, he brought in Torkoal, but that's fine because I do have the Earth Power. But unfortunately, I get full parried right there, and then I lose my Heatran to the Earthquake. So yeah, this Torkoal just hacks the crap out of me. Man, dodged a high Jump Kick, and then it, I guess, got full parried with my Heatran. So this Torkoal should have been dead a long time ago, honestly. And unfortunately, I bring in my baited Adamant Hoop Unbound, and it is not enough to knock out this Torkoal. That is insane. That is baited Adamant right there. But luckily he misses his attack, and I'm able to just knock him out. But this Torkoal just like really destroyed my team with its Earthquake and Lava Plume. So in comes Venusaur, and I'm pretty sure I'm able to live a hit from this Venusaur. Like, Hoop Unbound has amazing special defense. I'm pretty sure I should be able to live a hit, unless he's Choice Specs when range I'm at. But he critical hits me, so I'm like, alright, well, that just like seals the deal. I don't think I can break through this team anymore. There's nothing I can do. Like, all his fire types can literally just click fire moves and I'm dead. I have Magirna, Tangrowth. That is pretty much GG. So might as well maybe hope that he chokes away the game. So I'm gonna go for some Ice Beams over here as he goes for a Growth, actually. And that was pretty risky because Sun is gone. And with Sun gone, I could have... Wait, no, Sun's not gone. It's still there. I didn't see the little ray right there. Never mind. Because in Sun, you can't freeze, but it's still up. So that Hidden Power Fire does a ton with +2 special attack. And with, Sun boost. Luckily, Magirna is a Soul Vest AV, so I'm able to take that. So maybe if he's like Fire Blast Ninetales, I could dodge and actually knock him out. That's what I'm going to bank on, but it reveals he's Flamethrower, and that is going to cook my Magirna, and down it goes. And all I have is Tangrowth. So Tangrowth is, not going to be able to little Flamethrower. I'm Rocky Helmet. I'm not AV. Maybe if I was AV, I could have lived it, but Rocky Helmet, it's going to go down. But he actually switched out. I don't know why. I guess he wants to ensure that Ninetales can easily one-shot Tangrowth, because maybe he thinks I could live a Flamethrower without the Sun, because the Sun did go away at this point. So he brought in Tapu Fini, I guess. And also maybe he's scared of me Sleep Powdering as well, because, Tangrowth does have Sleep Powder on this. So I guess in this game, I could have done differently is definitely have minimum happiness on the Mega Lopunny. It would have done a little bit more to Torkoal. Hit that nice high jump kick as well, because, man, maybe I need to train Mega Lopunny to hit high jump kicks better. I'm not too sure. But on a serious note, maybe I should have switched out the Landers T on the Sosbuck into Magirna or my Tangrowth, because, like, looking back at it, what was the Z mover really? I wasn't too sure, but, like, Sosbuck is probably the Z mover. And especially because he's really trying to break through my team. He went for the Swords Dance on Hoopa Unbound, predicting me to switch, so I kind of should have expected him to just have something for Landers T, because at +1 I was like, okay, maybe I can live a hit and I can U-turn and do massive damage to them and then go into my Tangrowth. But yeah, I should have went to Tangrowth, because what else do I need Tangrowth for on his team? I guess like his Tapu Fini, but then I should have probably brought in Magirna. But Magirna also, I wanted to keep HP on it because I wanted it for the Venusaur, because like I needed all my Pokemon for his team, because it just had so much offensive pressure with his Venusaur with growth as well, outspeeding my entire team. So, and losing Lopunny early on really sucked, because then I lost my Fake Out priority user, and that's really good to just stall out Sun and just get some chip on his Pokemon, because the really scary Pokemon don't appreciate Fake Out like Sosbuck and Venusaur. So either way, I think I could have pulled it off with the hacks, but still GG to LaFlare, because really interesting team on his part, and he did make the nice play with the Swords and Sosbuck, predicting me to switch out. So yeah, that is going to be it for the Wi-Fi battles today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, what do you guys think about Sword and Shield? I love reading you guys' comments. If you guys didn't see my video on the new starters Gen 8, talk about it in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys think about Sword and Shield. I feel like I want to do a video on the armored evolutions. That's like a rumored thing I saw in 4chan, and some other things, because maybe someone predicted it that Sword and Shield was being released, but we'll see. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.